Thanks for joining us on 6 Plus. I'm Lindsay Lippman. Here's what's in the news now. People in China Spring are shaken after a Central Texas mom was murdered. According to the McLennan County Sheriff Parnell McNamara, Richard Osment is accused of murdering 38-year-old Michaela Brooker with a concrete block and a machete. It all happened at 9 Saturday morning.
This is one of the most horrific, horrible, brutal, senseless attacks that we have seen in a long time. It never should have happened. Time was of the essence to catch this guy as fast as we possibly could to keep somebody else from getting injured or killed.
Well, after searching for 10 hours, law enforcement found him hiding in a pond about 100 yards away from where the body was found. Right now, Osment is in custody. He's charged with first-degree murder and violating parole. Osment was serving 40 years for burglary. He's only been out of prison for a few months. The victim's family created a GoFundMe account. That link can be found on our website at kcentv.com. Right now, Alaska DPS is refusing to release records about a family that disappeared off the coast of Alaska back in August. The Maynards and their 2 boys were on a boat when it capsized. 4 other passengers were rescued, but the Maynards were never found. Family members in Troy tell us Alaska DPS hasn't told them what happened. 6 News put in an open records request with Alaska DPS earlier this month, asking what they heard from the 4 survivors about what happened that day. That request was denied. Alaska DPS says federal and state law allows them to refuse our request because it could interfere with a law enforcement investigation, but they won't tell us if they're investigating a crime. The agency says law enforcement records can't be released until the investigation and criminal court proceedings are completed. We spoke with family members of the Maynards earlier this month who just want answers.
I mean, we've gotten multiple stories, but nothing definite. My sister doesn't even know what's going on. And that's frustrating because I had to watch her more, not only losing her son and a daughter-in-law, but her 2 grandbabies. And that was the end of their Maynard bloodline.
Alaska DPS says they've talked to a relative of the Maynard family, but many loved ones and family members tell 6 News that information is not being shared with them. We put in another open records request just this week, asking for the 911 call. We've been tracking this 6 Fix for months now. A Moody woman is now getting justice after a building company left her high and dry and out $10,000. In a court hearing on Monday morning, A&L Sheds owner Amanda Sparks was arrested for theft after failing to refund one of her customers. This is expected to be just one of many court hearings that Sparks will have to attend. 6 News reporter Adriana Alexander shows us the moments she was arrested.
We may not ever see any of our money, but we might. You know, you never know.
Inside the McLennan County courtroom Monday sat Donna Polston and 11 other former customers of A&L Sheds. Polston took company owner Amanda Sparks to small claims court after her company failed to complete her shed build in April 2023 or give her her $10,000 refund.
There was a warrant out for her arrest for theft. And so he asked her, do you have the money now to pay her her $10,376? Well, when she said no, the judge told her right then and there, hey, you're under arrest for theft.
Sparks was booked into the McLennan County Jail later on that Monday, but posted her $5,000 bail Tuesday.
All of this is victims.
Polston has been keeping track of other people's complaints too. One of them is Vay Bean.
You know, I gave her $13,500 thinking that, you know, she's my neighbor. How is my neighbor going to scam me?
Bean says Sparks owes a total of at least $850,000 to at least 60 other customers.
At this point, we're just desperate to just, you know, something has to give.
And like Polston, Bean is seeking her own justice too.
It is 2025, the next, you know, lawsuit date. So hopefully our plan is to do exactly what we did with Donna's case, where we all showed up. We all were witnesses to what's going on.
Turn it into your sheriff, turn it into the IRS, turn it into the FBI. Stay on top of it and make sure your sheriffs and stuff start trying to get a warrant.
And that was Adriana Alexander reporting. Sparks allegedly has a number of warrants out for her arrest in a handful of other Texas counties, and more people are awaiting their day in court. We will continue to follow this 6 Fix as we learn more. Meanwhile, Elon Musk says he's moving the headquarters for X to Bastrop. Court filings show the company has already signed a 3-year lease on a property off FM 1209. Musk owns the property. He says he's building the headquarters there with enough room for 600 people. The billionaire already has 2 other businesses in Bastrop, but people there have mixed reactions to the announcement.
I was gonna say, a lot of people, they come from out of town to work at these places too, so you're not even getting a lot of like locals that are working for these companies. People are still coming from all over, causing even more traffic and whatnot.
We like Bastrop, so if it grows, gets bigger, that'd be nice. You know, he's building a school here, all that stuff.
Well, the Bastrop city manager tells us they're already expecting the population to increase by 42% in the next 5 years. Now they're thinking about adding lanes to their major roadways. The city manager says they're trying to avoid big city problems like traffic. Have you noticed many Central Texans have home insurance premiums going up? It's happening nationwide, and the state's average yearly premium is more than $1,000 over the national average. 6 News anchor Bailey Bates talked to a home insurance expert about why premiums are going up and some options that you can try to keep your money in your pocket.
You could call Kenneth Klein, an insurance expert.
What Texas is experiencing, everyone in the country is experiencing in some form or fashion.
He's been researching insurance issues and what can be done about it for years. And with home insurance premiums rising,
If there was a solution, somebody would have found it.
he knows homeowners are feeling some burn in the pocketbook. Klein says there are some components contributing to the sticker shock increase.
The 2 major drivers are the intensity, frequency, and consequences of weather events, the fast rising cost of labor and goods in home construction or reconstruction.
If you have filed a claim after severe weather damage or whatever the case might have been, that could be driving your premium up too.
It's not a guarantee that their premium's going to go up the next year, but it's pretty likely because that's a data point that insuring you is more expensive than insuring somebody who doesn't file claims.
So what options do you have to lower your home insurance premiums?
If there was an easy answer, you'd already know it.
Klein says first you could raise your deductible to drive your premium down.
Most people don't lose their home to a tornado or a hurricane or a fire, but pretty much everybody has a plumbing leak. You could also have a conversation about simply not fully covering a complete reconstruction of your home, but rather buying a little less coverage.
He says you should also shop around, try an independent broker or agent instead of a captive agent of an insurance company.
And that was Bailey Bates reporting. The Texas Department of Insurance has a checklist for you if you plan to try to shop around for home insurance. You can access that on our website, kcentv.com. Well, there's a sigh of relief for a few Killeen neighborhoods that have been concerned about speeding, traffic, and physical road conditions along Watercrest Road. That's because the city of Killeen broke ground for the Watercrest Road reconstruction project. Our Mike Rogers tells us why this should make the street safer.
1, 2, 3, turn.
A welcome sign for West Killeen residents living along Watercrest Road as the city held a groundbreaking for its reconstruction project.
Roughness, the dips.
Robert Gomez is a resident who lives near Watercrest and says he's happy to see the sidewalk replacements that will run alongside the construction from Clear Creek Road to Willow Springs Road, with so many residential developments that feed into it.
Anything that we can do to promote people walking and being safe, a pedestrian-friendly city is always the way to go.
The road itself will be narrowed from 4 lanes to 3 for safety reasons, and a new traffic signal will be installed at the Robinette Road intersection.
It's dented my rims a little bit, actually.
Kendall Adams has driven the road for the last 7 years. He says it's the physical replacement of the 2.2-mile stretch of road that he's looking forward to.
Potholes have happened, cracks in the roads.
The project is expected to begin October 14th and be completed by November of 2025. Adams says if losing a lane of traffic will promote safer drivers and driving surfaces, it's a benefit to the community.
It's going to save everybody money on their vehicles, so it's an overall good thing.
Reporting, Mike Rogers, 6 News.
Well, City Manager Kent Cagle says there are other street projects underway and planned that add up to a $10 million investment. Those include Bunny Trail and Stagecoach Road. Well, McLennan Community College is asking for help filling up their pantry. They need more food and home essential item donations. 6 News anchor Adriana Alexander met up with their pantry director, who explained how vital it is for students.
Food access is not easy to come by for unhoused people, especially those in college.
We have a good amount of food here today, but we have already had to restock twice. This has probably been our busiest year with the pantry since it opened.
Aranza Torres, project director of the Campus Resources Education Web at McLennan Community College, says their school, like many others, have students that don't have a stable home or aren't sure where they'll receive their next meal.
If they haven't eaten, or if they haven't had a safe place to rest their head at night, or if they don't feel safe at home, that makes it harder for them to complete homework or just focus in school.
This is why in 2012, Paul Land's Pantry came about. And according to a survey, students at MCC are needing food and essential items more than ever.
The most recent one from 2023 showed that 50% of our students report food insecurity, 10% of our students report housing, significant housing insecurity that would be considered homeless.
To help keep their mission alive, Torres says their doors are always open to donations.
We don't just offer shelf-stable food, but we're able to offer fresh vegetables, we're able to offer frozen meat, like chicken and beef and turkey. We also try and offer vegetarian and vegan options. And then recently, just this year, we started expanding into hygiene and home good items.
And if you can't do that, monetary donations go an even longer way.
Hosting a food pantry and spreading the news about the food pantry, that alone has been able to connect us with students that might benefit from additional resource referrals.
Well, there are plenty of volunteering opportunities available for events this October and November. To apply, you can find all that information at kcentv.com. Well, did you see him? A Central Texan was on The Voice this week. Take a look.
He got all 3 at the first show we played. Hometown says I don't think Jesus done it that way.
It was an emotional night for Kendall Eugene, a 37-year-old from Waco. At first, no one turned for Kendall's version of Don't Think Jesus by Morgan Wallen, but the show's new replay rule came to the rescue. It lets a coach hit their button. You're watching it happen now. After a singer has finished their performance, Reba McEntire brought him on board. And afterward, he had a chance to say hello to everyone here at home.
Hey y'all, it's Kendall Eugene, and I'm on Team Reba this season for The Voice. I'm so excited to represent Waco, Texas. Thank you for the support, and keep watching the show right here on 6 News.
Well, blind auditions continue next week, and we've heard that Kendall isn't the only Central Texan who will be making an appearance this season. After losing 5 family members since 2020, this Texas woman dedicated her life to doing good. But now she's adding one more thing to her to-do list, winning Miss America Senior. Sean Giggy shares her story.
As bad as 2020 was for everyone, for 88-year-old Sue Grandy, it was worse. First, Sue lost her husband to Parkinson's. Then, her grandson died unexpectedly at 35. Cancer then took her daughter. And before the year was over, her brother, sister, and dog were gone too. Sue says for a while it was hard to find joy. So she turned to her faith and found a way to use what got her down to instead lift herself up.
It was just like, okay, enough of this self-pity. Get up, do something productive. But if you come.
She started by dedicating more of herself to the opera lessons she'd begun years earlier.
Okay.
Then, together with her daughter Mary, she published a series of children's books.
Come on.
After that, she created a nonprofit with her sister called Sisters Sewing Kindness.
Making blankets is my therapy.
Together, they've sewn and donated hundreds of blankets to people in need.
Chemo and people in dialysis.
At 88, Sue says she's doing more for others than ever before.
There's a lot to be grateful for, much more to be happy about than to be sad about.
She's happy and confident.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Which is why last year she competed in the Ms. Texas Senior America pageant and won. She'll compete for the title of Ms. Senior America next week. After the hardest year of her life, Sue says she's found joy and purpose.
What we really need, people that'll stand back and hold the door and that'll slow down and let you in traffic when you need to get there. Small kindnesses matter.
And as you can see, that's always a big deal.
Isn't that the truth? Small kindnesses matter. And that was Sean Giggy reporting. Thanks for joining us on 6 Plus. More on these stories can be found on our website, kcentv.com. Now stick around for our Weather 101 with meteorologist Aviana Smith.
Welcome in to another episode of Weather Impact 101. I'm Weather Impact meteorologist Aviana Smith. Thank you all for joining us once again. Changes are on the way, and that's why we're going to talk about the fall leaves changing colors, because the fall season has begun. And the season started on Sunday, September 22nd at 8:43 a.m. And when you think about the fall season, the thing that comes to mind is the leaves changing. So you probably ask yourself, why do the leaves change colors? Well, with the cooler weather coming into the forecast, the trees are breaking down the chlorophyll, leaving behind other chemicals that change the color of the leaves. So most of the time you see orange leaves, yellow leaves, and red leaves. And that's because different chemicals are present, because we're no longer seeing the chlorophyll where we normally see green leaves. So you see different colors like orange, which carotene is in those leaves. And again, you have other chemicals as well. And you'll see brighter color leaves are more likely to occur when the summer is drier, like towards the later part of the summer season is dry, and autumn has more sunny days and cool nights. So we can expect to see some more brighter colors as we get ready to head into peak fall foliage. But we're not going to see any peak colors just yet, but as we enter into around late October, we can begin to see the leaves start to change. But here's a look of the average peak coloring timing across the entire lower 48. So as we look towards more of the northern U.S., they will begin to see their fall leaves change early October or into late October. They begin to see more of their peak activity. But across the southeast, we're not going to see peak activity until late November, especially for us here in Central Texas. That's when we'll begin to see some of those deep maroon colors. But by late October, we will start to see leaves start to turn yellow, as well as that light orange color. Again, for your fall foliage forecast, we're not seeing any changes just yet as we start off the 2024 fall season. Again, no changes on the way as of now, but we can expect to see that peak forecast by late November. So as you prepare for the fall season, again, getting ready for the leaves to change, make sure you have your jackets, as we're going to see cooler weather move into the forecast throughout the fall season as well. Get ready to enjoy all of the holiday festivities that are around as we welcome in the fall season. But if you have any questions for us, remember, you can always email weather@kcentv.com or text any questions that you want us to talk about for your Weather 101 segments to the number 254-777-6000. Again, thank you all for joining us on another episode of Weather Impact 101.